So, alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashemi Oshai, Ba'ashemi Kakadash. We said, Allah, support and let's agree, most and rule, teachers our person in truth. And we see salutations, so yeah, can we push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or the season, we say Shalom. And once again, go the entire video here, and this is basically touching upon some news. As you can see from this what I have up here, see, this basically come from a page, you know, that let's give you news about disasters that happening worldwide. You know, from every part, every different section of the world, it will give you up-to-date news of what's happening in those particular places. Now, this is the same major earthquakes hit the world today. Now, this was the 27th. Today is basically the 28th. So it was yesterday, right? And a whole, as you can see, is a whole set of earthquakes here, and there were basically more. And 2 days ago, right? 2 days ago, there were news about like 6 different volcanoes that erupted on one day, right? That's in 6 different places, which mentioned the rain and fire. I believe I have it right here, right? So you see, this one here is Russia, right? So let me just read it here quick. You see, this is the Zero report, November 26, 2025, right? 2 days ago. It's a global volcanic synchronization phase. The last 72 hours locked in what we've been tracking for months. The Earth system is releasing pressure through volcanic vents instead of major fault ruptures. When locked plates refuse to break, the mantle finds the fastest escape valves. That exactly what's happening. Now, this is just their term of saying what's taking place, but we all know is the Lord doing all these things, right? So let's say the sequence. One was Heli Gubi. It's the first recorded eruption in human history. Now, this was something when I remember I was doing a video, and I was mentioning, like, if you watch some of the disasters that are taking place, right, in some of these places, you're seeing like it's new records being broken. Is the first ever recorded, or like is the, like, for example, what happened to the Benjamites in Jamaica, which was the hardest hurricane they ever faced ever in history. You know, like every time you're hearing about things now, it always breaking the previous records, or like is the first to ever come to this place. So it goes to show that when the scriptures mention that greater evil shall be done thereafter, right? You're seeing the evils that are taking place. The Lord talk about the miseries that shall happen. You know, the Lord also mentioned the terrors, right? The perilous times, all these things, right? Now, it says a new fissure system opened inside the tiniest continental crust on the planet. It's Indonesia, Philippines, Mexico, Kamchatka, right? 6 major volcanic centers across 4 tectonic regimes erupting in the same window. Rift, arc, hotspot, subduction. The pattern is global, not regional. It's global, right? Happening all over, right? The common thread, internal pressure rebalances, zero crease peaking, the faults are locked, the mantle is unloading vertically, right? So I wouldn't read the rest, but as you can see, 6. And this is, now notice they didn't even put Russia in the mix here. Now you see in Russia here, right? Another one, right? No, it's a major earthquakes that hit the world today, right? Now before I continue in that, let me bring a scripture here, right? This is the book 2nd Ezra chapter 9, and I read from verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Now, when you look at the word diligent, right? Let's get here. Diligent meaning, right? So it's a diligent. It's a having or showing care and consciousness in one's work or duties. Conscientiousness, right? Conscientiousness is the quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well and truly, right? Conscientiousness. Right? You say the quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well and truly, right? So it's a diligent, having or showing care, and that is how you're supposed to be diligent, always on the look. The Lord said to always take heed, always be on the watch. It says, what is a diligent person? It says marked by care and persistent effort, hard working. industrious, tireless, untiring. It's a characterized by hard work and perseverance, right? Um, it's a what is the full meaning of diligence? It's a careful and persevering in carrying out tasks or duties, and that's how it's supposed to be. It said, measured all the time diligently in itself, right? It say, and when thou seest part of the science parts which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? And how you visit, the Lord talk about how you go visit and things. The Lord talk about the tempest, the storms, right? And all these things, right? The Lord talk about the perplexity, right? Watch how much things happening upon the earth right now, and we just to the sidetrack of this, it goes to show that you're not going to escape, because whereas one side these disasters is taking place, it have wars, you have famines, you have pestilence, it have new diseases, and there's another video I have to do, particularly going into this year, this one here, right? And all these things, right? You're not going to escape. The Lord talk about for the plague shall come and you shall not escape, right? Shall not escape. That's roughly paraphrasing. You're not going to escape. You know, but a lot of people, especially Jake, they believe that things are going to get better. You know, things are going to get worse, right? They're preparing for the Christmas. They're preparing for the Mary time. You know, Mary. You know how this be, right? And not expecting that all these things taking place, and that goes into the aspect of reading some of these news that coming out about some of these disasters, right, that taking place. They're talking about eventually something big might happen, right? So you say, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, right, there shall be seen what? Earthquakes. Watch how much earthquakes we're seeing. This is the same major earthquakes hit the world today, and that was just what, the 27th. Prior to that, the 26th was the volcanic eruptions, and on those particular things that had major earthquakes as well, right? You were seeing floods. Let's go into this page here quick, right? Right, talking about floods, how much people die, landslides. This is it, right? So this is basically what I had to say. Watch, right? Watch. Right? The kind of torments, the kind of terrors happening around the world right now, you know. Right? It's a verse 3, it said, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we're seeing these things right now, right? We're seeing these things taking place right now. It say, and then shall and we're seeing it happening on a greater scale as well. Whereas before, you might hear about one earthquake for the year. You might hear about one earthquake in 6 months. Certain places you would have never even hear about these things. You know, they would have said this particular thing happened 100 years ago, right? Now you're hearing it every other day, right? Even on the island here in Trinidad here, we had on a particular day, it was like 12 earthquakes around us, right? These are the things the Lord mentioned, the things that will be happening at the end. It said, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? It said, for like as all that is made in the world, had a beginning and an end. Put this thing on mute. Right? It said, for like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So let's look up the word manifest, right? Manifest meaning, it says clear or obvious to the eye or mind. So the end is being made manifest unto us. It is being made clear and obvious. Why it is because we're seeing these signs happening, right? We've seen the things that were mentioned to happen at the end happen, right? Or it's happening. So it's being made. It's being made what clear. That way it's say for like us all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So the end is being made what clear or obvious. So let's look up this is spirit, because while I'm doing this video, and I now mentioned was the American helicopter, flying over the sky. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, right? But the helicopter passing in the sky. And there's the American helicopter. If I done couple videos on it throughout the time where there's tensions between Venezuela and America, right? And Trinidad is in the mix. So Trinidad is where we base here, right? And a whole bunch of American army, the naval, the navy, the ships, right? All these things is down here right now. The helicopters, the Black Hawks, all these things is down here right now because they're preparing for war, right? These are things that the people on this side of the world, haven't seen in years or have never seen, right? Right? So there is spirit. All praises to who? To Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So it says manifest, clear, or obvious to the eye or mind, right? So let's go now back to 2 Ezra 9. It says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings in effects and signs. And endings in effects and signs. And what did the book of Matthew tell us? The signs at the end, right? The wars, the rumors of the wars, right? Kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes, pestilence. For the scriptures mentioned, for all these are the beginning of sorrows, where it say all these things what must come to pass, right? So it's only going to get worse and worse. That 6.6 magnitude earthquake hits WNW. Indonesia, 6.0. Alaska, 5 point. Indonesia, 4.9. Philippines, 4.9 Philippines. And these is heavy earthquakes, right? Indonesia, 4.7 Greece. And there were more stuff happening in the midst. Like this person say, volcano started, earthquake, 2012 film happening for real. And then let's go into the aspect of if you remember the movie 2012, but all these things happening because these things were mentioned to happen at the end, right? It's the Lord that is doing all these things. It's insane how many actually think the dark is behind this with HAP, DAPA, etc. And me and some of the brothers was talking about certain things happening in Caribbean here since the army come on. You could be using the HAP, right? Right, so continuing, it's so this person said these are natural part of the cleansing and expansion process of the earth is going through at this time. I'm not saying that the dark cannot cause a storm or quake, but most certainly nothing remotely close to this level, right? And again, it goes to show that their power is not like the Lord's power, because it's the Lord that is doing all these things. I know, and that is what this person saying here. This kind of stuff that happening here, they can't do. Why? Because this is coming straight from who? Direct from the Lord. Whereas all things is coming from the Lord, it goes to show the difference in power, right? So it's an endings and effects and signs, and and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, right? It says, shall be preserved from said perils and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Right, but let's going back to the verse 7. It say what? Sorry, verse 6. It say, even so times also of the highest have beginnings in wonder and powerful works and endings in effects and signs. And we've seen the ending one in effects and the signs, right? We've seen the signs at the times, right? And we've seen it happening, right? All these things taking place. Let's go on these news pages and you go see how much things being done. Let's watch. And let's scrolling down. And let's scrolling through, right? Let's scrolling through, right? shit that's popping off worldwide. Disasters happening on a grand scale, things that you have never seen before, or so much, right? But again, the end is being made one manifest. So with that, once again, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Bekakodash. We say that when Apostle and Elos, a great Muslim ruler, teachers of apostle in truth, and we say salutations to the Akim, to the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season, we say Shalom.